morning, friends, and welcome to this morning's edition of your Monday Morning Espresso Shot. We will begin by first placing our awareness in the area of the heart. We'll just wait for 9 o'clock to chime in here, wait for others to catch up perhaps, and here we go. So let us place our awareness in the area of the heart. Let us kickstart today's session by allowing the breaths to flow into our hearts, breathing slowly, deeply, and symmetrically. Allow these breaths to flow in and out of our hearts. And just experience these flowing in and out of our hearts. You can maintain awareness in the area of the heart either by imagining it or placing your hand upon it. And imagine the breaths are flowing into your hand and into your heart, and then exhaling out of your heart through your hand and beyond. Take a few breaths in this manner. Continue to take these symmetrical breaths. That means that if you take 5 seconds to breathe in, take the exact same amount to breathe out, 5 seconds. Do not stop at the top or the bottom. Just allow this to flow into your heart and gently exhale from your heart. It's a nurturing breath. It allows your body to balance itself. If you wish to take deeper breaths, imagine them flowing into your root chakra or perineum and flowing out of your root chakra or perineum. The deeper these breaths, the more oxygen gets into your system, which is what we want. Slow, deep, gentle breaths, experiencing these flowing in and out of our hearts. Thank you once again for joining me this morning. Love the energy that you present. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Today's topic is balance in polarity. And I want to ask you a question to begin with, of course. And the question becomes, have you ever had a warm bath? And if you have, there's an interesting concept that I'd like to present to you about polarity. You see, when you go into a bathtub and you want to have a warm bath, what you have to do is you have to turn the faucet into the hot and the cold faucet, if you have two different faucets, of course. And you have to turn them both on. To make a warm bath, you need the hot and the cold, neither of which would be comfortable for many people. But in the balance of the two, to create the warm bath, the soothing bath, you need both. So there's a polarity there involved. The polarity is hot and cold in order to do that. I want you to consider the concept when you are in the bath or when you're feeling at peace with the world. There's moments, and I hope everybody feels this throughout the day. But there are moments in the day that we feel at peace. Perhaps when we go out to nature, we feel this emergence of peace. Consider the fact that the peace is a balance between two polarities. And those two polarities have to be present, just like the hot and cold water in the bathtub. They have to be present in order to provide you the balance of the peace. Therefore, in that state of peace and calmness, you have activated frustration and anger in perfect balance with compassion and gratitude. And it is those two neutralizing each other to get you that peace. That doesn't mean that there's an absence of either one of those components. It's just that they're having an equal and opposite effect, so they cancel each other out. It's like the ripples in the water. If you've ever thought about an experiment of doing this, you can take two stones, and if you drop them into a pond, they will create a ripple at the center of the rock. There'll be a ripple that's created, and as the ripples meet, where the two crests meet, you will amplify the effect. Where a crest and a trough meet, they'll cancel each other out. So when you see calm waters, it is not calm because it's calm, but there is a balance of polarity of trough and crest that allows it to do that. There are scientists who have created zero point crossing quantum lasers that uses this very principle of two waveforms going backwards and canceling each other out. And the 0 point is created, and it creates amazing things. The 0 point is created at that point in time, but it is not docile. It's actually active. It's active because it's got the two polarities combining to it. So when we talk about how does that kind of impact us in this lifetime, is we tend to want to gravitate towards this area of peace. We want to go away from hatred. We want to go away from sadness. We want to go away from grief. And we want to go into this area of gratitude and appreciation. We want to stay there. And I invite you now to look at it differently. Look at it as there is no good, bad, evil, kind. There's no such thing as absence of these. There's only the harmony in which you are experiencing balance. So when the world becomes more polarized, for example, we've got a lot of protests going on for various reasons. There's a polarity created there. And then there's this other side of that polarity where you've got the governments trying to quell this particular uprising. And in that sense, there's a balance to be struck in the middle. So if you're on either side of that, you experience the unbalanced state. And so to try and harmonize it is important. So how do you harmonize it? Compassion. Compassion is the way to harmonize the balance of and to balance the polarities. Let's talk about compassion very briefly in the next 30 seconds or so. Compassion is not about saying yes to either of them. Compassion is honoring their free will and being at peace with the fact that the world is actually creating the polarity, and that they will learn, each of the sides will learn how to harmonize that. And that's called, let's get to the table and talk. Let's find compassionate. Let's find a middle ground. But and the middle ground will satisfy both or dissatisfy both, but they'll both respect the decision. So that's something that you may want to think about, is how polarity works in your life and where you're at. Are you in harmony, where you bring the two polarities together and make peace with it in your heart, or whether you are polarized one way or the other? And that is a choice that you can choose to make. All right. We always have too much to talk about than the time we have here, but you get the gist, I'm sure. So let us now begin to balance the polarity starting from within. And in this area of your heart is where your balance comes in, because as you take a deep, slow breath, your heart rate goes up slowly. And as you exhale, your heart rate goes back down slowly. And in the polarity of heart rate increase and heart rate decrease, you find yourself in that state of coherence. And in this case, that's what you want to do, is you want to place awareness in the area of the heart and breathe symmetrically. You want to take slow, gentle, deep breaths as you experience these breaths flowing into your heart for 5 seconds. And then flowing out of your heart for another 5 seconds. And you continue this cycle so that you experience that duality. You experience that polarity of heart rate slowly going up, heart rate slowly going down. And when you do that in balance, your system becomes more balanced. And therefore, you reverse the aging process. You bring balance to your entire body. Your autonomic nervous system that affects 90% of your automatic functions becomes more balanced. That is what polarity you're creating with every breath that you take. And now, experience a regenerative emotion. Let's see if we can lend some fuel to this so that we can ratchet up the balance by injecting more gratitude and more appreciation. You are inviting its equal and opposite polarity to rise up to help balance your body. And so honor your capacity to experience anger and frustration. And honor your capacity, your body's capacity to experience joy and gratitude in equal measure and balance. Because bringing those two together will allow you to have that beautiful warm water bath called coherence in your biological system. Slow, deep, gentle breaths, and experiencing these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Now gently open your eyes if you had them closed. Take a deep breath. Bring yourself back to this moment. Thank you so much for participating this morning. Happy to take questions, reflections, comments. There are some coming through. And while you're typing those in, I just wanted to share with you an upcoming webinar. I'm going to be broadcasting live this Saturday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. This is about establishing and stopping us from playing small. I played small for a long time in my life. And I realized that if I had just set a more worthier goal of my magnificence, and there's a lot involved in doing that. So I want to take you through the steps of that. And at the end of this particular 1 hour deep dive, we will have established a worthy goal for each of us. So join me this Saturday at 11 a.m. If you're a member of Ignite, if you have a Ignite membership, it's absolutely free. It's included in your program. If you're not, consider joining. It's $25 a month and you can cancel anytime. If I can support you in your journey to help you step out of your own way, and that is what I had to do for my journey, I wanted to offer that service to you because I've been there, done that. I completely empathize and understand if you are stuck in life and you want to know what the blind spots are. I'm happy to share with you that. All right, let us look at the comments coming through and see if I can help you. Okay. Cynthia, good morning, beautiful soul family. Good morning to you too. Thank you so much. Dr. Amber Wolf, Meliha, love the bathwater metaphor. Simple and profound. Thank you, dear Shamir. You're welcome. Yeah, it came to me this morning, this bathwater, as I was taking a shower. Michelle says, yes, Dr. Wolf, compassion as a warm water bath. Beautiful. Yeah, I think the concept, yes. And what I tried to convey is the judgment that we have of this is good, this is bad. Really, they're all creations of the universe. The universe created all aspects of life, whether they're unwanted or wanted. But it created it because the imbalance of that, because to balance the joy and the peace and the calm, I've now started to understand that our end goal for humankind, for our elevation, our state of bliss, is not having extreme joy. It is actually having extreme calm and peace. And that peace is one with the universe. And that just kind of came together for me. Is we always tend towards this extreme joy and this extreme sense of calm, but really the extreme sense of calm and peace and connectedness with the universe only comes when you have the capacity to experience the extremes of both, because the more you have the capacity, the more intense capacity you have to experience both, the more you'll experience that 0 point, as I talked about. And Dr. Wolf knows the scientist that I referred to on the 0 point crossing. That's Dr. Todd Ovokaitis. He has a patent on a quantum laser that uses the two waves that are opposites and cancel each other out. And there's so much power in that cancellation because both of them exist at the same time. Both extremes exist at the same time. And that is how you cross the time space barrier. Is there's both polarities become one, and they exist in this part of the veil that's on the other side because they're both at the same time. They can't exist at the same time for too long here without becoming unstable, but they can sure exist once you hit that quantum point. So maybe that's too much information for most of us. Dill, this is just a brilliant, what I needed for the challenges I face from the external world in my personal life in the present moment. Spot on what is being said by spiritual teachers, coherence of what is now. Magnificent. You're welcome. Yes, exactly. Much love, Zachary, to you too. Dr. Wolf, balance. Thank you. Shelley says we can create a visualization that the globe is in a warm bath bubble of light, love, peace, and joy. And you know what? That's a beautiful visualization, because in that visualization, if you ever have a hard time visualizing a peaceful world because you've seen so much strife and polarity, you can actually allow the polarity to exist, because in the two extremes, you get that calmness, that 0 point crossing. Neil, I love the balance of crest and trough. Not extreme enjoy, but only comes with the ability of balancing extremes at the same time. The 0.1 hertz, yes. Beautiful. Shelley, Michelle, shout out to you. And Teresa says worthiness. Fantastic. So this did resonate with a lot of us, and now we can look at the world differently. So I appreciate that. You're welcome, Dil. You're welcome. Thank you so much for your comments and reflection and participation. I look forward to our next topic next Monday. Happy Family Day to all my Canadian friends and brothers and sisters. It's Family Day here today, and I wish you the best of it. And if you're not a Canadian, happy Family Day to you too. Take care for now. Bye-bye.